I love my job. I love what I do. You really have to have a servant's heart to serve in this role.
Volunteer. Go. There's commissions, there's committees, boards. Go out there. Like, you want to help make a difference in our community. This is perfect.
We're all about customer service in the clerk's office.
And you guys have fantastic customer service.
I would never not pick up my phone. So they're
Don't say that, Julie.
except if Eric's calling. No.
Yes, of course. Hello, Bakersfield, and everybody listening all around the world. This is Eric Galvan with the Something Better podcast. I am guest hosting today. Joe Conroy, our normal host, is on assignment. He'll be back soon enough, but if you want to go listen to some other episodes of the podcast with Joe's voice, go find us on all your favorite streaming platforms. Give us a like, follow, comment, all the things. We have a great show today. We are joined by a couple members of our city clerk's office. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. Actually, my boss, Megan Simpson, has been talking you guys up. You guys have a lot of important things going on, and we want to get into that stuff. First, I want to say every time I'm at a city council meeting, you guys are like the conductors. The meetings cannot happen without you two. I don't know how many times I hear Mayor go to saying, Madam Clerk, where are we at now? So I appreciate that, and you guys are very much appreciated. So thank you both for the work that you do. First, I want to start off by introducing Julie Drimakis, our actual city clerk. Julie, tell the world all about yourself.
Well, thank you, Eric. I have been working in the clerk world for about 20 years now. And actually, next week is my anniversary with the city of Bakersfield.
Oh, congratulations.
13 years here in Bakersfield. I love my job. I love what I do. You really have to have a servant's heart to serve in this role. And what the clerk's office really does is we manage a lot of democratic processes like elections. We ensure access to city records for the public, and then we give the public access to all of the legislative actions that are done by the city council. We also serve as compliance and filing officers for various federal, state, and local statutes, including the Political Reform Act, the Public Records Act, and the Brown Act. We also manage public inquiries. And once in a while, we get to arrange for some ceremonial events. But those are probably the biggest one we have is our Teen Government Day, yes, which we have, and we interact with the high schools in the area and expose them to local government.
Yeah, as somebody who works in the communications field, and I actually have a teenage daughter who's in high school, it's always cool to see these high school kids coming in, and they may not necessarily know what exactly it is that we are doing here, but they come in, they get a taste, they this potentially, they may look at this like, oh, wow, I didn't know this. Maybe this is where I want to follow my career. This is where I want to go. And we give them like a really great kind of a look kind of behind the curtain, so to speak. And you guys do a fantastic job just kind of like running that and making sure like everything is kind of like on it. So again, appreciative of the work you guys do with that. So Cari Cowling, you are also in the city clerk's office. Go ahead, let us tell the world all about you.
Yes, I'm the assistant city clerk. Julie's been here a long time, but I am just freshly wrapped on my first year here with the city of Bakersfield.
Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you very much. And in my position in the city clerk's office, I coordinate several programs that fulfill state requirements, such as Form 700, Statements of Economic Interest, state-required ethics training. And like Julie said, our Teen Government Day is a big part of what I do also. I coordinate that day, which is celebrating its 70th anniversary this November.
Wow.
Yes. So
looking forward to that. That'll be awesome.
Exactly.
We got to go big, right?
Exactly. Yes. It's going to be a great turnout, I hope. And like you said, it's a great educational day for all the kids that get to come and see what city government is really like. Probably the biggest part of what I do here in the clerk's office, and the reason we're here today to discuss mainly is the boards and commissions program.
Yes. Talk to us about that. Those, I think there's either misnomers or people just don't really know kind of like boards and commissions, kind of like their function, what they do. But they are so important to city government and kind of us working. It's a key cog, so to speak, in the whole machine that is, just government in general, not just here, but just all over the country. Get into that. Tell us a little bit more about boards and commissions, kind of their function, what they do, and the importance of these.
Sure. So cities typically have boards or commissions that are either advisory or some of them could be quasi-judicial, and it's to make local government work better. It's more democratically and more efficiently. So these are groups of appointed citizens who help handle specific topics. And for example, like our civil service boards, or our planning commission, and several of these boards, like civil service and planning commission, they are actually codified in our municipal code, and our civil service is actually codified in our charter. So it provides the citizens an opportunity to participate, and for the council to gather community input. Some of these individuals who serve on these boards may have specialized expertise, and then it's more efficient, and it gives some workload relief to the council. So the council gets clear recommendations instead of all of that workload falling on the council.
So how many boards and commissions do we have?
We have quite a few, actually. I'm going to go over a few of them and describe what they do, how they're impacting the people that are listening to this podcast, our citizens, our communities every day. First off is the Historic Preservation Commission. It reviews applications for areas of historic interest, cultural resource, and historic district designations within our city. Those sites could be historical, archaeological, cultural, social, economic, or architectural development that are unique to Bakersfield and important to its history or the history of our community at large, important to our surrounding county and our state as well. Next, Planning Commission. Julie was just speaking about Planning Commission. It's a very important one of these committees that we have going on. They maintain and interpret the city's general plan. They give recommendations for methods of implementation, and they also give recommendations for improvement of our zoning ordinance. So these impact our communities and how we live every day, even though you might not realize it. Next up is a really long title one, Public Safety Vital City Services Measure Citizens Oversight Committee, PSVS Committee for short, thankfully. That's a 9-member advisory body. It's appointed by the full council and the mayor, and they review the expenditure of revenue generated by the measure and tax. Next up, which I think is kind of an interesting one, is the Kern Mosquito Abatement and Vector Control District. You live in Bakersfield, you know about mosquitoes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. There's 8 trustees. 4 of those are appointed by the Board of Supervisors of Kern County. And then each of the city councils of Arvin, Shafter, Wasco, and Bakersfield assign a person to that commission as well. Their primary objective is to eliminate mosquito breeding areas by way of educational services, various control measures, and abatement procedure methods. So if you see those little paper tents out in your orange tree, those are usually from the mosquito vector abatement unit. They're out measuring, what they're doing. And so this body really helps align the methods that are coming up, or how the area should be reacting to these things that are going on. Julie mentioned earlier the police, fire, and miscellaneous civil service boards. Those are 3 separate bodies. They formulate rules and regulations governing their employees in each one of those associated bodies. Maybe the most widely known one that I will bring up right now is the Keep Bakersfield Beautiful Committee, known by KBB for short.
Yep.
That's 16 total members, 8 regular members and 8 alternates appointed by the full council and the mayor. They recommend policies and specific programs to the council, which promote the mission statement of their committee, which is to engage individuals to take greater responsibility for improving their community. Yep. We see them out at the Great American Cleanup, that big, huge day every year where the mayor shows up and gives out some prizes.
Right around the corner.
It is. But they're out there every month. It's not just that one day. And it's a great place for people to get a step in and to be involved in city boards and commissions. There's more on our website that we're going to talk about in a little bit,
Yep.
but I'm just going to highlight one more real quick,
Yes.
and it is the Youth Commission.
Ah, yes.
Yes, that's 8 board members and 8 alternates. And the commission is made up of high school students. Their job and their mission is to identify concerns and needs of local youth. That's not just, this is what I want to see at the park, but it's other recreational opportunities. Student safety is a big part of what they do. Talking about ways students can be safer on their way to school while they're at school. And they work and create volunteer opportunities within the cities within the city for other high school students.
Yeah, and I feel like all these are extremely important, and I'm going to touch on a couple of these as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Youth Commission, we've done some stuff in our communications division, and like I said, I have a teenage daughter, and I've kind of like nudged her, like, hey, we're going to be looking at colleges. What looks really great on a college application, like you volunteering, you participating in this process, and this looks really good. I mean, you want to also, part of it is like making a difference.
Yes.
And I think just kind of on a broader level, like all of these, like if you live in this community, we get, unfortunately, I deal with social media a lot, and I see people saying what they say, and I always say, hey, volunteer, go. There's commissions, there's committees, boards, go out there. Like you want to help make a difference in our community. This is perfect. And even if you have maybe future aspirations, I look at the Planning Commission. I feel like the Planning Commission is a feeder into the City Council because I look at currently we have council members Bashir Taj and Komen who were former planning commissioners and now they're on the City Council. And it's a good way to kind of, if you're not necessarily ready to jump into City Council and elected a position like that, this is a good kind of like first step into it. And this kind of like, do I want to do this? Do I want to kind of take on bigger responsibility and serve a broader audience? So these definitely do have, whatever it is, if you want to, like I said, if you want to serve your community, like this is a great, just fantastic way to do this. What are some of are there difficulties filling these positions at all? Or what do we need to do to kind of like help this process?
So what we've done now is we have an online portal where you can apply. Previous to just a few months ago, it was really coming in and getting an application or printing it out from our website, filling it out, having to bring it back in or mail it. Now we have an online portal. If you go to the city's webpage, go to the City Clerk Department page. On the left, there's a link that says Boards, Commissions, and Committees. Click it. There's a link to our online portal. Very easy to navigate. And you can fill out your application. And at the same time, you might say, hey, I came here to apply for Planning Commission, but there's a opening on this other board that I see right here as well. You can just copy your application into that other position. So you're able to view each one of those boards and commissions. There's a page that tells you what it's about before you go into the application. You can, if you decide that one's for you, great, fill out the application. If not, go back and read some other ones. See the description, get the data, see what the requirements are, how often they meet, where they meet. And you can apply right there, and it gets sent directly to Julie and I, and we are ready to get in there and review it and get the process moving along. And
this is a fairly easy process. I was actually looking at it earlier, and I started clicking around. I kind of started the application process, but like, wait, hold on. I was just looking at it for my own education purposes, and I look at it, I was like, this feels almost too easy. But that's kind of like what we want to do, because I think people think of government and, commissions, boards, all these things. They think it's tedious, but it's not. And, we want to get them kind of into the system. And then that's where you guys come in and you guys then go to, okay, now we have to vet these. And what's that process like once you guys receive the application, what is that process like before somebody can be approved?
Once we receive your application, like I said, it sends it directly to Julie and I. We're able to go and we look at it. We do an address verification just to make sure that you live in the city. There's a couple boards and commissions that have maybe one other requirement, and we check for that. If you're good, awesome. We wait for the closing of that, what we call an open recruitment. That's the period in which we take applications for those specific open positions. And then we supply that packet of applications to the council and the mayor for them to review and then make their selections of who they would like to appoint. And then all appointments are made at a regularly scheduled city council meeting. Currently, it's at our 5:15 meeting, and off to the races after that.
So for some of these, I know they have to be ward specific, correct? Okay, so then how does that process work as far as like council members deciding who they are going to appoint?
So when you say ward specific, what that means is the council member of that ward gets to appoint. That doesn't necessarily mean that the resident needs to reside in the same.
All right, thank you for that clarification.
Yes, in the same ward. So it's really up to the council member when they feel they have a sufficient number of applications for appointment. They just let us know. We put it on the council agenda, and they make their selection. The rest of our positions are what we call at large, which means an applicant only has to meet the minimum standard of being a city resident. With the exception of Youth Commission. Youth Commission, they can either reside within the city limits or go to school in the city limits.
So some of these other commissions, like if somebody from Tehachapi, and I'm just throwing out random cities, if somebody from Tehachapi wanted to apply for one of these, they couldn't because they are not a city resident, correct?
Correct.
Bakersfield city resident.
This is really about residents within the city limits that are able to contribute to their local community and bring in fresh perspective and help the council do their work.
So if somebody's thinking about this, if somebody has questions, I feel like maybe because I am here internally, I feel like you guys are fantastic when it comes to, I ask you guys a question and I get an immediate response. I think I bugged Julie about something just today and it was like within a few minutes I got a response. But if somebody is interested, if somebody wants to apply, can they reach out to you guys?
They're more than welcome to reach out to either Cari or I, or call the general clerk's number at 661-326-3767, and we'd be more than happy to chat to them and see which commission is a good fit for them. We also have, keep pointing people to our new portal where they can find, we call them data sheets, but it's like a breakdown of what each commission does and when they meet and just what their purview is. So we're all about customer service in the clerk's office.
And you guys have fantastic customer service.
I would never not pick up my phone. So they're
don't say that, Julie.
Except if Eric's calling. No.
Yes, of course. No, but you guys have been great, and I feel like sometimes there are more openings than others, but you do still have currently a handful of commissions boards you guys need to fill seats on. Correct?
We do have some current openings, but I do want to notify people that we do annual recruitments. So in around October of each year, we have several boards with terms that expire in December. So our annual recruitments we open in December, but then there are vacancies that occur for various other reasons. Someone resigns or whatever the reason may be. So there are, we're constantly recruiting for at least one position.
And if somebody applies or is interested in one, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't go apply for a different one as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, again, just give us a rundown. If somebody wants to apply, what is the process? Where do they go?
BakersfieldCity.us,
Yes.
the City Clerk's Department page. On the left, there's a selection for apply to a board, commission, or committee. And from there, there's a link to the online portal. There's also a PDF application that if you want to do it old school, you can and come turn it into us. But
PDF is old school. That's good.
It is. But we really encourage that online application because it really is just easier and faster. And I would say most people could complete it within 5 to 10 minutes. It's a quick.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a quick thing.
We want to fill these. We want to get as many people involved as possible. Julie, Cari, thank you both very much for joining us on the Something Better podcast. For everybody listening out there, remember, like, subscribe, all your favorite streaming platforms. Find us. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.